gentlemen, good morning for day 2, the final day of the HGC Finals here at BlizzCon 2018. We had an incredible day 1. My name is Kevin, and I am your host for today's final event. It's gonna be amazing. We had an incredible set of games yesterday, but we did see NA and China fall out of the tournament. The story for today, EU versus Korea, Gen.G versus Team Liquid, and Miracle versus Dignitas. It's gonna be an amazing day today. We will crown a global champion, and this will be the prize. Names etched on the base. It's gonna be worth it, guys. Thanks for being here with us in person at BlizzCon. Thanks for being with us on the stream. Those of you who are watching live, we got an incredible set of talent over at the desk, headed by Gillyweed. We're going over there right now.
That's right. Today is the day when legacies are forged. I'm Gillyweed here with Caldor, Trixler, and Dreadnought. And Caldor, it has been quite the journey over the past 2 weeks to get to this point.
It definitely was, and we had a lot of surprises coming in, but now we're heading into Liquid versus Gen.G as the first semifinal of the day, and that alone could be spicy, especially considering that Liquid already took one map off Gen.G.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. And talking a little bit about yesterday, Trixler, Caldor already mentioned it, or Kevin already mentioned it. We've said goodbye to 4 teams, but also to China and North America.
That we did, but another team that also really surprised me is that Miracle, making it all the way here to the semifinals, putting on a show. Judy is playing out of his mind right now. I am actually a little worried for Dignitas today because of how well Miracle's been playing.
You're not alone.
Dreadnought, Miracle being able to take out Tempest finally, the win that mattered the most, because Tempest unable to adapt to the tournament meta the way we would have liked.
Yeah, I do think that there is a little bit to be looking at on the side of Tempest, but I, throughout the entirety of this tournament, have felt like Judy and Blue Beetle and the rest of the roster of Miracle has been that potential dark horse. And yesterday, they very much kind of, met up to snuff here when it came to the level and the bar that we have been setting for them. And suddenly it looks at it and we go, could this be a Korea versus EU finals? That's what we all kind of hoped and dreamed for. But now it's like, is this going to be Korea versus Korea? We don't know.
Well, that leads us to today. 4 teams, 3 best of 5s to find our 2018 Heroes Global Champion. A team that wins that not only gains that title for an entire year, but a $500,000 prize pool as part of the total $1 million prize pool. We've been talking a lot about Miracle, but Dreadnought, Gen.G came in last year as the favorites. Is that still the case?
Coming into it, I think they are the favorites, yeah, when looking at the entirety of the tournament. It's just that whether or not, I feel like, again, whether or not Miracle is the team that is going to be the kind of surprise for us all, and whether or not Dignitas can really meet up to the Western hopes that everybody's been able to set for them. When we're looking at the opening weeks and opening groups, I feel like Dignitas very much was that threatening, dominant team, but I feel like we are still yet to see whether or not Gen.G has really been pushed and threatened. Today will be that day, and how they respond when they are threatened will really define whether or not they are going to be our first repeated, world champion.
Trick, do you agree?
I don't know if they can be threatened. I mean, they haven't played anything out of the ordinary. They played the Sergeant Hammer compositions. They've played very, very standards the entire time and shutting down all their opponents. In fact, even matching them and then exceeding past that. Gen.G, if they're going to be threatened at all, I wonder if it has to be Miracle that makes it way to that grand finals, or if Dignitas has something prepared for them, because Gen.G is definitely the favorite to win this entire thing.
But what about Team Liquid?
They are very confident. They are heading into this as the underdog, I would say. I think there's no doubt about it. But they have shown already a couple of strategies that a lot of people haven't really expected. We've seen, for example, the Vikings coming in again, this time played by Eternal, since Liquid has been shifting it up slightly. So they definitely have a couple of drafts prepared. But they are in an underdog position, but they feel confident. I talked to them behind the stage, and they said, we feel we can take this today. Give us a good map, a little bit of momentum, and we have a chance here.
How important is it talking about showing things, showing strategies for Gen.G? Gen.G has never been the team to hide strategies, Dreadnought.
Yeah, they haven't been a team to have that many pocket strategies, and I feel like that's why them sticking to the standard that we have expected from them so far coming into this tournament is a benefit for them, just because it makes it seem like their draft priority is going to be the same going into every single series. But I do think that it's unlikely that we have that over, kind of reactive, oh, here's our pocket strategy coming out from a roster like Gen.G. But when they do have creative picks and it slightly adjusts, like things like the Alderac, the Sergeant Hammer, it usually looks very, very good in their hands.
There are 4 teams here. Who do we feel has the best adjustments to the tournament meta and the better hold of the tournament meta? Can we definitively give an answer to that?
For me, it'd be Dignitas. I mean, Dignitas has always been about adaptation. Since the beginning of the year, they want to make sure that they can respond to what you see in a best-of-5 series. They want to make sure that even if they don't win the battle, say a game 1 or a game 2, they win the war every single time. So if Dignitas sees what's coming their way, and if we do get that special flavor from Gen.G in the semifinals because Team Liquid pushes it, I can see Dignitas adjusting.
Well, yesterday set the stage for what we have today and our final 4 teams. Let's take a closer look and a recap of the quarterfinals before we move in to the final day of BlizzCon.
And it is my pleasure and honor to welcome you to BlizzCon.
Our first match promises to be explosive, as China's sole remaining hope brings the fight to the current world champion.
Really well played here from Gen.G thus far.
Hey, whoa!
And this is going to be the big combo. Look at reset. Here's one. And he's going to look for the second one here. Everyone's got to get out. There's the second kill.
Hugo is gone. That is going to be G.G. And Gen.G will take game number 2 and move on to the semifinals.
We are moments away from our first iteration of NA versus Europe, and we are packing the house. I want all of you out there in here, in the seats, because this is going to be a good one.
Heroes Heart with the kill. Let's go ahead. Give me some resets, Tommy. Let's make it 4. And you know what? Let's make it 5 for good measure, as Heroes Heart will take game number 1.
And look at this. Team Liquid fight back and claim game number 2, tying up this series. It looks like Team Liquid will send home North America's #1 seed, Heroes Heart Esports, in a 2-1 victory.
Up next, Tempo Storm, the last North American hope, versus Dignitas.
What a series we are about to watch. What?
Let's go! Everything in favor of Dignitas. But now they have to deal with this. Murky will fall again. Murky will fall again.
Dignitas coming out in game number 1. They will not fall victim to cheese.
Dignitas has done it. They have taken down Tempo Storm and made their way with a date with Destiny in the round of 4.
I mean, Rich is kind of overrated, so playing against him again would be kind of a waste of time. So it'd be really exciting to have an all-EU final, so I think I'm rooting for Team Liquid to make it, you know. Tough luck, Rich, but maybe next year.
Well, Gen.G has already made it through. We'll find out which Korean team will join them in the semifinals with our next match of Korea versus Korea.
On 3, Sign moves in. They're trying to find a pick, but Tempest is running away with the tail between their legs. Around the bunker as snipers. We're trying to find Tether, and he finds a big one.
Maiev just wrecking through Tempest.
Miracle knows this game is done. One more kill comes in, one more channel on the altar, and Miracle is able to grab the victory over Tempest. There it is!
Oh, and Miracle takes the 2-0 in the series.
When it matters, on the big stage, Miracle is able to turn it around, and they do it in a decisive manner, a 2-0 Caldor.
I think it's very important to note that no Murlocs were harmed in the making of this video. But guys, Trixler, Liquid, they have been strengthening. Miracle, they have been strengthening all the way up to the semifinals now. Can they make it further?
Yeah, Diesel, if you look at Team Liquid, they're like a diesel engine. It takes a while for them to wind up, but once they get going, they get going. Their cylinders are all firing, and when this team is on firing, they are destroying their opponents. My fear is if they come into game number 1 and Gen.G shuts them down, if Team Liquid will crumble a little bit, because they always have that at the back of their head, that Liquid curse. Is it going to be something that hurts them too much? And that's what I'm worried about, and hoping their mental state is on point today.
I actually don't think we have to worry about that. First of all, group stage, they had a similar situation. The first map there was pretty much a shutdown from Gen.G. It was really well done, and the Liquid came back. The worry that you have, I feel that too when we're looking at league play and the entire season, but I feel the tournament momentum is something that they really thrive on under pressure here. We have to remember that they're still going up against an opponent that is incredibly tough to beat, but I think that Liquid is going to take it one map at a time, and if they at any point gain momentum, I actually think it's going to work in their favor.
Yeah, my hope would be that by this point in the tournament, everyone who's here does have the mental strength to be a world champion. Let's take a look at the bracket, though, and Dreadnought, this first question's coming to you. It's about our second semifinal. Team Dignitas, ever since last year's mid-season brawl, has been known as the Korean Slayers, the team that took out many Korean teams and has continued to do so. How much of a concern do you think Dig has? We've expressed concern for them with Miracle, but how much of a concern does Dig have about Miracle?
I feel like there is definitely concern when looking at the success that they have had as of late and that kind of ramping up that we have seen from them. But I think there is kind of maybe calm before the storm of the fact that there has been some consistent patterns when it comes to the pick priority and the way that they end up playing the battlegrounds. A lot of it, skirmishing has been a large focus for the Korean teams as well, especially when looking at Miracle, and that can be out-traded by Europe's overall largest strength through the macro play, that they can kind of poke and prod around the battleground and put Miracle in a lose-lose scenario rather frequently. But I do think it will be a very tense match no matter the case or whatever drafts we see from both teams.
Well, our first match today will be Gen.G versus Team Liquid. And Caldor, Team Liquid is the only team in our top 4 that did drop a map yesterday. Does this give any indication of strength level versus the other 3, or is it more so that their opponent was quite frankly, the strongest.
Yeah, I actually think that when we're looking at Heroes Heart, they did an incredible job in the group stage. They did fantastic also in yesterday's matches. You can make a strong argument that even in Game 2, if they played it a little bit different with their adjustment, they could have won the series. So I feel Liquid had a tough opponent. I don't think the map loss is a problem for them. Again, as I said, they are very motivated. They are incredible. They're going into this series and they're saying, we can win this. We have the confidence and we can take that now. And I expect that they have also a couple of juicy drafts. They might just try and bait out a ban against the Vikings occasionally, but we have seen in Europe some Muro plays. We've seen Valera. We've seen a lot of different things that haven't really made it into the tournament here yet, at least not on the European side. And I could see some of that pop up.
Yeah, Trick, there was some expression from Gen.G all the way back before any of these teams faced off in the group stage about Team Liquid and some of those juicy picks.
I mean, there's definitely some variety available for Team Liquid. If you look at Hasselhoff's alone, he brings a different amount of wild cards to this team. I mean, you have the Zarya picks that we had in the past, the Tychus, which has been one a little bit more frequently, but also that Jaina, Ring of Frost. He's 4-0 right now in this tournament when it comes to actually playing the Jaina. So you having that ability to flex forward and you have a strong backliner like Arcaner, you know you have a good team that can get those kills.
Well, the last time these two teams faced off was the semifinal of the 2016 Summer Global Championship. So let's see if Team Liquid can win that rematch or if Gen.G climbs one step closer to Dynasty.
Facing Gen.G in the semifinals is basically like facing them in the grand final. They are the top dog of the tournament, I'd say. We scrimmed a lot against Gen.G during the opening week, so we have a very good feeling how they like to play, and we also tied in the group 1-1 against them. We took a map. So there's definitely a chance, but Gen.G is the favorite, I'd say. But yeah, we will not, we go in with a fight and we will try our best to win.
I'm really excited for the Gen.G matchup. We had a really good match in the opening week match where we went 1-1 against them, and I'm feeling very confident actually against Gen.G. We've had really good results against them in scrims, and I think we have a unique meta that they're struggling to deal with at the moment, so we'll see how we go in the match.
작년에 이제 블리즈컵 관중들 보고 좀 많이 놀랐어요. 사람이 엄청 많아가지고. 근데 그만큼 이제 가슴 떨리고 이제 그래서 올해도 앞에 많은 관중들이 봐준다면은 오히려 저희 팀은 좀 더 실력 상승하고 더 좋은 경기력으로 게임을 할 수 있지 않을까 싶어요. 팀 리퀴드랑은 연습을 많이 해봤어요. 거기에서 근데 아크레너라는 선수가 정말 잘하거든요. 그 선수를 중심으로 이제 한타에서 모든 연계가 시작되고 저희보다 솔직히 연계 조합으로 갔을 때 정말 잘하는 팀이라서 그 점만 조심하면은 무난하게 가지 않을까 싶어요.
Gentlemen, please lend me your energy. This is the most pinnacle match for this team's year right now. Please welcome in the red corner, Die Geilen Bangerphone, Team Liquid! And over here in the blue corner, you know them. They are our reigning global champions from Korea, Gen.G! All right, captains, let's start this day off right. Center stage to shake hands. Okay, let's get it started. Over to you, Gillyweed.
I'm not gonna lie, watching Sake and Hasselhoff walk toward each other on the stage, shaking hands, that made me feel something. That's special.
What a big moment for Hasselhoff in particular.
Yeah.
How many years has he been competing? And this has been the major stage he wants to get to, and he's gotten this far. It's been so long for him.
Also, coming here to the main stage was already a big accomplishment. Just imagine you make it to BlizzCon for the first time, and then all of a sudden you drop out of groups. That would have been a total nightmare. But he not only made it on the stage, they made it to the final day too. So there must be a lot of adrenaline pumping through the veins just for that simple reason.
I mean, Kaldor, you have been friends, teammates with Hasselhoff. I mean, your friendship transcends genres, transcends games.
He drove him around.
This should be a moment for you too, right? have your moment.
It's awesome seeing them here. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's really a lot of fun, and I'm really, really happy for him, and it would be fantastic if they had a good showing here. If they can take games off Gen.G, that would be great. Maybe they can build that momentum. We always have to remember, as they said in the interview, they are the underdog here, but we have seen a lot of Cinderella stories in the past year, and I wouldn't put it past them. If they have a good start, gain a bit of momentum, Gen.G maybe has a bit of an off day, they have a shot.
Yeah, the G stands for Goliath, I think, in this matchup for sure. Dread, you have been a fan of Gen.G for as long as I've known you. What is it about this team that allows them to be at the top or near the top for years and years?
I think a lot of it comes down to just really understanding team fight priority and kill targets and when to execute within those team fights itself. The macro play of Gen.G is something to not, kind of shrug off and be able to look past, but I never would sit here and tell you, even since all the way back at Spring Global Championship, that they're going to be able to dance around the battleground. Yes, they can understand how to get macro pressure in 2 different points, but that is not the strength. It really comes down to them finding a way to go, this is what we need to execute in a team fight, and setting it up through a lot of use of fog, for instance, is one of the greatest things that they do. And again, it's just pulling the trigger in synergy.
Can we gush a little bit about Kyoja, actually? Because I feel like Kyoja is one of the prime reasons why they even have the opportunity to get those team fights. He always elects to move into the aggressive top laner. It's been Urel for this tournament so far, but when that guy gets into a back line, he creates so much space at reset, literally is unfazed in team fights.
And I think if you look at the rest of his career, right, if we start early on, I think you would say the exact opposite when looking at Kyoja. I think that's the biggest thing to talk about when talking about Kyoja. We talk about Rich, reset, Sake, 2 roles, 2 world championships. It's amazing, right? But Kyoja has been this kind of like overlooked player for so very long, and has very much risen to the top of the team. And even when he's not on those aggressive players, like things like the Blaze and things like, I feel like his synergy and how he preps and sets up the rest of the team is outstanding.
That is why I say that they have been at the top for so long, because Kyoja and Sake, this is their 3rd BlizzCon together, and they stay at the top for so long, and it's because of them that they're able to continue this domination together. They have role swapped, they have roster swapped, but they stay together and they do what is necessary for the team. That is why I say that they have been at the top for so very long.
When you talk to them, one of the things that they immediately highlight as well is also that team house and practice environment that they have. Just it makes them so close that they know what everyone is thinking on the team, what they're going to do next. They just have that synergy that builds over time, and especially if you live together.
And it got only better whenever they decided to, go ahead, pick up the 6-man roster, Noblesse, another world champion moving in, and that ability to have that, kind of objective perspective to be able to better their emotions and ways that they approach the game has really been the reason that they have been able to shine. But I very much agree, that selflessness being displayed by both of those players and both the members, because it's not like they walk into a tournament being like, look at me, whereas I feel like you can get that at moments from players like Rich.
I mean, you can kind of see the same thing, though, for Team Liquid. We've seen Nurok role change over to support, and then beyond that, they have given drafting and some of the leadership in some capacity to Arcaner. And in that way, Team Liquid have been able to do the same thing and make it here farther than they've ever made it before.
Yeah, especially Eternal, also to mention him, like he took over the shot calling responsibilities within the team, and that is normally not a thing that you expect the offlaner to do, but he keeps a close eye on the 4-man while still executing his job extremely well. And while you point out Nurok was the guy when the double support meta was incredibly relevant. He was the tacit up player for them. And he always put himself into the service of his team because it was not really a role where he could make the plays, he couldn't shine there. So when he made the transition over to support, I was skeptical at first. And then when you talk to him, he's like, no, I really enjoy this. I feel I can set something up. The supports right now, Deckard Cain being one of his specials. I love how I can make plays here, and I'm happy to support my team from the back. I don't have to be always the one who gets the kills here.
The team mentality will get you a world championship. Let us begin. This is a best of 5, and we're headed to the Battleground pool. Bans on Battlefield of Eternity. That's been pretty consistent for Team Liquid. And I love when Gen.G gives the respect to their opponents, that's when the change happens. That's when Braxis Holdout is let through to take away something strong for their opponents. They're taking away Cursed Hollow. And we're heading to Volskaya Foundry for Team Liquid.
Volskaya Foundry, a comfortable map for Team Liquid. They continuously go to this Battleground. However, they haven't had the best win rate, especially on online play. It's fallen off dramatically from what they've had in the past, but they were the first team to show this Battleground off and really excel at it.
Exactly. They were one of the first ones that really excelled excelled here. We had initially as the Zealots back then with AD already playing Mad quite a lot, but Liquid took over, figured out how to play the item game nearly perfectly. They didn't have quite the success then within Phase 2 that we had from them before, but they still always felt that this is our battleground. This is one of the battlegrounds that we love to play, and it's definitely a comfort pick for them.
But from a strategic standpoint, it does leave up a lot of those maybe concerned pocket picks that everybody's been talking about on the side of Liquid. It's very standard according to what they've been going at. They can play meta and traditional, or they can bust out that last pick TLV. So I think that it's a smart kind of opener here for the team to be able to kick it off on Volsky.
Well, you're talking about pocket picks. The last time these two faced off, we got a Gen.G Alarak from Rich. A Rich special, though. Other players...
The only player in the world that can make Alarak look like a decent hero.
Yes.
Hey, Snitch.
Yeah.
Okay, would say
you know what,
otherwise.
Snitch? He's getting there.
I was about to say.
You're right, you're right. But still, a difficult hero to pull off a competitive play. And speaking of a hero that brings a lot of poke, Hanzo immediately opened up here for Gen.G. A pretty common pickup on this battleground, especially for making sure to damage your opponent's while on the control point.
Also, we talk a lot about pocket picks that we could see, but let's not forget the Tomb of the Spider Queen game that Liquid won against Gen.G in the group stage was actually executed on the basis of you having a wombo combo when they went in with Deckard Cain, who we now see reflected in the draft. Again, high priority for Nurok. And even the Johanna, super early in the draft here of support Billy.
Yeah, it's a huge mix-up when looking at that. We only got one game out of that, and that was when the Lost Vikings came in yesterday from Team Liquid. Another thing, too, with the Raynor ban into the Hanzo priority, that is a very different adjustment from Gen.G to be able to pick that up. We've seen them put those at the 1 and 2 highest priority, but Raynor has stood far above there over the Hanzo. Yes, it is a good battleground for it, but I feel like it's showing that there's a lot of game plan and the forethought here from Gen.G walking into this draft.
Wait a second. Team Liquid has been prioritizing Deckard Cain, Garrosh, and Blaze all tournament long. Now they're switching things up. They bring in Johanna. They ban out Blaze.
Feels like they really want to focus on that wave clear. They want to make sure that they're able to get the rotations, get ahead on the macro game, which is something that they do excel at when it comes to this tournament in particular, and Johanna does build into that. I am wondering if we're going to get some more wave clear too. Junkrat would be a great priority for them.
Yeah, another thing that I could see them draft is, again, one of their triple melee strategies, and Thrall is a hero that oftentimes comes to mind when you talk about Team Liquid. Arcana loved how Korea at the the Eastern Clash really focused on Thrall a lot, and he brought that into Europe. Again, they played a lot with Sundering. We start them here off with Arthur, so they still have that flexibility towards the end of the draft to go into that triple melee that they usually prefer.
Both the teams did play one game each of Arthas, so great adaptation from Team Liquid that they take away the Blaze, then get Arthas. This is going to put Kyocha into Leoric, and then they'll get some wave clear with Junkrat. Jaina ban, though, understanding Team Liquid, but all they want are kills with Arcaner's Tracer.
I really like the Leo Junkrat in the final selection there from Gen.G with the priority that they had into the kill potential at the beginning half and how much focus we've seen Liquid go into the macro front. Having those two on the side lanes and be able to scale throughout the entirety of the game is going to work out a lot for them. A little susceptible when looking at the Tracer kill potential and pick opportunities there, but overall I feel like as long as Gen.G doesn't get out macro too early on, they have a lot of really good kill potential, and again, those last 2 picks save the oppressive macro that Liquid had been building throughout the 4 picks of the draft.
Trick, what are your thoughts? I see the Trick face.
I'm interested to see how Team Liquid's going to pull this off, because Arcaner has a different style of Tracer than what you're typically used to. You usually have some kind of double support, or you're trying to push him on the front line, burn him down with pulse bombs, but he loves to get in that back line and try to dance that line of adrenaline, right? He's trying to get on top of that Hanzo or that Tyrande. But a Hanzo, if he's able to land all of his abilities on a Tracer and she has to skedaddle away, something that 4-man has a hard time retreating, and Arthas has to be on point for that disengage.
It just feels they are already putting Arcana in a position where he says, like, hey, game 1, I'm going to show you. Like, I have the confidence right now, let's bring it. And he played his Tracer when they faced off against Miracle, and there was some incredible interactions that we had with Judy, especially trying to put him into the wall. So I feel a lot of this hinges already on Arcana. The draft definitely has a couple of really strong points, but as you said, Gen.G has a lot of kill potential there too. I'm hyped for this one. It's going to be good.
From one leaving master to another, Reset gave Arcaner that respect. Can he do it? Can he carry through this game 1?
I think for me, the one thing that makes me go, I'm very hesitant to support Liquid, even though I think it's a safe draft, is again, I talked about how yesterday that they have been drafting, if they're in the first pick slot, 3 picks are very, very common, same within the second, and that's exactly what we get from them. Again, Phoenix is sitting afterwards. The only adjustment was a Johanna in the 1-2, and it's like adjusting and flexing a Johanna instead of the Garrosh priority. Would you say that that is that innovative or that high impact? Right. I think it's good into the Tyrande, yes, but I don't think it's going to break a team as, you know, destined as Gen.G.
Well, the pressure is on. It is mounting. The winner of this match is a BlizzCon Grand Finalist, so let's get it going.
Caldor Gen.G versus Team Liquid. And we get to cast it. Let's hop into it, man. Game number 1, can Team Liquid hold their own against Gen.G?
It's coming down to Tracer a lot. I mean, you have the Johanna in there, so I think the thought process for them was definitely that against Garrosh, Johanna is actually pretty good. She can still walk away from all of this. The Iron Skin is just such a great tool for them. But there's so much pressure on them right now. But I really think if they gain some momentum, they may not have a shot here. It's going to be tough, though. You go up against Gen.G, and that is always an uphill battle.
That it is. I'm also looking at that side lane, too. You have Arthas versus Leoric, which is an old type of traditional lineup. Leoric usually, if he's able to hit that Drain Hope, is able to burn him down. But here we go. It's time to go into game number 1. Here on the left side, in the blue, it's going to be Gen.G. Kyochi on Leoric, Reset on Junkrat, Sake on Tirana, Tist on Garrosh, Rich on Hanzo. Give it up for Gen.G!
And over to the right side of the map, we have in the red, Sport Billy on Johanna, Eternal on the offlane, playing Arthas in game number 1. Arcana once again on the Tracer, Nurok on Deckard, Kane, and Hazops on Phoenix. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Liquid!
Straight to the center of the map, our teams go. The wave clear, who would you give it over to? Probably Gen.G here with the ability to move into that Junkrat, but also, if Hanzo wants to get that explosive barrel, they can definitely control that middle lane.
Yeah, they definitely can, and their wave clear potential is actually fantastic here. We still have, of course, the Condemn around Johanna that can really make some good plays here and just rotate between the lanes, but it's going to very much come down again how much Arcana can threaten that backline. If you are able to get on that Tyrande, even though she trades quite well into you, if she uses the Hunter's Mark, you're still in a position where you can get those quick blow-ups, and that's what Arcana is going to be looking for. For me personally, it's going to be the battle around the Biotic Emitter that we are most likely going to see. Who's going to take it? And are both teams willing to commit to it too? And
the way to know if you're going to see if any team's going to be moving forward that support camp is look at that bottom lane. We're going to see if Leoric or Arthas goes for the rotation. Whoever gets there first is typically the team that wants to be aggressive and get there. And Team Liquid usually runs for that Biotic Emitter, so we'll be keeping an eye on that as we watch the first turrets being grabbed here at the 1 minute mark. And instantly, Arcana is there. Also, as you mentioned, want to get pressure on the back line, even moving into that melee there as he goes in straight for the Pulse Strike on level 1. Get those bombs out. Drop them as many people as you can there to make sure that they are weakened so you can get those picks.
One of the things that I'm really happy to see is that Eternal again is on Arthas. He had some fantastic plays in phase 2 on the hero, always just adding huge value, not only on the side lane, but also with the engage. And now once again, he is on that hero, trying of course to look for those rotations. Turret's super important here, both of the teams picking it up early. That will allow them also, once the objective spawns, to grab a second turret in the middle of that fight if they make the rotation. But now all the eyes are on the Biotic Emitter, the support camp here. Are we going to see that commitment?
Gen.G so far has done their homework. You saw Leoric clear out that bottom lane, rotate to the middle, waiting for Team Liquid to make that play for that emitter, but no one moving for it yet. In fact, Team Liquid pulling back, realizing Gen.G is playing safe around this emitter. They are willing to fight, so Team Liquid goes back and grabs the siege camp instead. Having this push early allows them to make the play afterwards.
And immediately scouted out too, so Gen.G already saw that this is going to be taken right now. Bot lane though, that's where we're having Kyoja, still threatening Eternal. He's not the only one. Tis is actually looking for the potential engage, but Eternal sees it early enough, moves back immediately. And now we have Gen.G reacting in kind, taking their own camp, but you can already see on the minimap that both of the teams are just hovering around the support camp, but both of them are like, are you going to go for it? Do we have to fight here?
That is the main focus for the early game for both these teams until we wait for that control point to spawn, which will be spawning pretty darn soon. Loving that both teams have waited for the siege camps too. They want to have that pushing door during that control point to pull away those side laners to clear that up, and still, Tis continues to control that point.
Also, we have ignore all distractions taken as a level 4 talent choice for
Rich loves this.
He loves it on that map in particular. You always have those minion waves pushing right next to the objective, so you can try to go for that extra range increase on the basic attacks, and that's something that he utilizes extremely well when those team fight moments happen.
It's pivotal against a Tracer player. When she has to blink in, suddenly she has to use 2 blinks to get into that and also to get away. So she has to think twice about going for her engages. Arcana already speaking about that Tracer, putting some damage on Tis, who's trying to hold the control point, but it goes over to Team Liquid first, and they start to build up percentage.
Arcana moving away here, but yes, as you said, Team Liquid grabbing the point first. Also, both of them not going for the support camp here. A lot of respect in game number 1. Iron Skin by Billy already used. Needs to be a bit careful here. Arcana still poking, trying to put the damage out, but Phoenix and Arthur still missing here in the middle.
Yeah, they're soaking up that level 7. So important. Gen.G already ahead in that regard, so Team Liquid trying to catch up, and that'll give time for Gen.G to build their own points up. The moment that 7 comes into, we'll see the aggression. Here's the other thing too, no one has used that turret yet. The turret is when you decide to put down your stake and say, we want this control point now.
Tiz still holding the spot for now, but has to move off, eating quite a bit of damage here. Pulse Bomb comes in. Here comes the recall as Arcana is being attacked, and he goes down. Great kill by Gen.G as Tyrande gets the first blood.
Incredible read there by Sake. Resets the next focus there for Hasselhoff, but Arth is actually the next one to fall as Gen.G finds 2 kills.
What a great start into this fight by Gen.G. The Korean team playing exceptionally well here. The attack against Garrosh by Tracer, trying to get the damage out, just simply dropping the Pulse Bomb and saying, okay, let's drop them low, force them back, and then the immediate play by Tiz. The recall just not enough. Tyrande was there, and an easy kill against Arcana, followed up by a kill against the Eternal. Gen.G taking control of the first objective early on.
Team Liquid will have one more chance to fight over this. They're going to get the turret to make sure they're bolstering out that fight so they can move forward. But it is a situation that is definitely uphill for them. Gen.G controlling what they can here on the left, starting their own turret as well. 91% to 25%. Team Liquid comes in for one last stand.
Tiz gets pushed off, but here comes Kyoja starting to move in. Overtime has started. This is a chance for Team Liquid. They try to make it happen. Already zoning out the opponent with the Arcane. But here comes Tiz. They're dropping the first turret, and Gen.G is tapping at the fountain. Gonna go for the pre-tap before they re-engage into the battle.
Team Liquid has won the turret war, though. They have 2 turrets down. Team Liquid trying their best to grab this point, but Tiz has been so hard to push off, so durable there. Another combo comes out, tossing Sport going to the side here. Also, at the same time, a mine coming in to hit Arcana, but Arcana able to recall away.
Rich put under pressure, but we have the healing beacon on the ground already. Billy moved away. It was a great play, actually, on the side of Gen.G. After the flip, the Iron Skin got activated, but already the mine was there from Junkrat. Now Gen.G again on the point, trying to go for the Protector. Here comes that flip. Billy needs to be careful. The Condemn comes out. Arcana in the back, looks for the kill, but he doesn't get it. Rich moves away and escapes.
But they have pushed him away. Kyoja, though, on the back line, goes in for Neurok. Neurok getting hit there. The big grab breaker. There's one, there's 2. As Gen.G finds more kills, and they're looking for a 3rd.
They're going for a 3rd, and they take him down. Arthur's dead. We have Leoric as a trade, but that's not going to be enough for Team Liquid. The Protector on the ground. Billy barely escaping with the Iron Skin, but Gen.G with 5 kills against 1, and the objective moves through the middle.
Gen.G showing exceptional control. Great play there by Tyrande. Sake landing those lunar flares, and the pure control there by Garrosh as well. Tiz on this Garrosh is devastating.
Level 10 already in their hands, and Gen.G is just blazing apart here. Fantastic play by them up to this point. The Willing Vessel taken out on 7 also for Leoric. They have the 10s in play. They can try and go for that Entomb, for that Taunt, for that Arrow engage. Liquid has to be so careful. They still do not have heroic abilities.
This is horrible for Team Liquid. Immediately the Protector starts to run the top side. That middle fort already down to half HP, but Gen.G taking these wells and taking everything they can in space, waiting for that big combo to come out of the Protector. At the same time, you have Junkrat floating around the side here, ready with that Riptire, ready to find a kill.
It's an absolute horrible position for Team Liquid to be in. Not only do you lose the Protector, you're far behind in experience, and that level 10 allows Gen.G so much engage with the Hanzo Arrow. The Warlord's Challenge is such a great tool if you get close enough to any of these heroes.
In the middle, Arcana coming down to help his teammate Eternal, who's in trouble. Riptire comes out. I thought Fortune's going to help, but Eternal's low on health, and he has no army the dead. Boom, there he goes. Gen.G finds a 6th kill.
And once again, here comes the arrow. They go for Hazoffs, and the warp comes in just in time to save the Phoenix. This is taking a couple of shots off the fort, but still, we're having Liquid now finally with level 10. Ready to fight back. The Tornado is there. They're trying to go for Kyoja.
Well, that's a shield. There goes Arcana. There goes a punch. A big salvo comes out. Kyoja might fall. No, he gets away. At the same time, Sport Billy trying to retreat using the Iron Skin. Team Liquid just cannot find these kills.
Gen.G keeping everyone alive, and you're so right. Liquid cannot find the kills right now. And they have shown over and over again that they're absolutely happy to fight against a talent advantage if they feel they have a good position in a battle. They go in, they try and get the kill and move out. In the past, they've oftentimes been punished for it. They were trying to go for kills, they get it, but then on the retreat, they lose more. In this case now, it's all about the battle for level 13 and the second objective towards the top.
It's really showing in the composition. Gen.G has speed on their side. They have the ability to find one target and pick it off quickly. Between that 100 mark, Hanzo damage, Garrosh coming in for the flip, and they've been so effective at it. Team Liquid needs to find a way to mitigate that, slow that down.
And Liquid now with level 10 has a bit of a fighting chance. It's just that huge gap in experience that we are seeing between the two teams that will make it much easier for Gen.G to dominate the battleground from here on out. Poke War is already happening here in the middle, but we still have Arthurs deciding, do I have to rotate in here? Can we force a fight? Do I land that Howling Blast? Or do I go for the camp?
Hits a high blast, but it's on Leoric. He can Wraith walk away at any point. Team Liquid can start backing up and soaking here as Gen.G continues to group up as 5. When they have an experienced lead, they typically do this. They dare you to come fight them on even terms. Gen.G building towards that 13.
I mean, you can see how they immediately try to force the fight as they hit level 10. They put the Tornado out, the Blessed Shield as a follow-up, and then they try to go for the Auric. They could not get the kill, but they are still hovering around here as Gen.G picks up level 13.
Tiss holding that front side. 13 finally connects here. It's all about those turrets being picked up here by Gen.G. That next control point will be up soon. Team Liquid at the same time working on theirs, but Gen.G is equipping themselves for an invade.
They're going for the item nomination here. They're going in deep. Have they overstepped though? Arthas with their flank. And all of a sudden, here comes Arcana. He wants the kill. He might get it. The shields are out, but Tiss is still low.
Eternal on the back line. Over the Deathman pop. There's that Riptire 2, and Tomb comes out. But Hasu's able to escape, but Scorpilly all by his lonesome trying to retreat. Here comes the Scatter Rose. Here comes the Dragon's Arrow. Can there be a follow-up here from Rich? No kills coming out, but Gen.G still brings the evade, and they're still healthy.
Arcana immediately moving in front of his teammates, trying to make sure that even if Rich has another shot available, that he's going to soak most of the damage here. But a great invade by Gen.G. Liquid again looking for the kill, and Tiss was solo as Arcana makes his move, but it was not enough to drop Garrosh.
Perfect timing on the Indomitable too to make sure he gets pulled in by that Tornado. Had that Tornado connected, Tiss would have definitely fallen. Gen.G able to use their cooldowns to make sure they get priority in most of these team fights, but Team Liquid is right on their heels, building forward that level 13. Eternal finally finishing that quest as well.
Of course, at this point, you give over some of the control point to the top, and then you aim for a fight on even talents. Cooldowns, super important here as well, and both of the teams are still looking at roughly 20 seconds before all of them are going to be up again. But Gen.G has advantages already. They're looking at more items. They have more under their control. And also they destroyed their opponent's fountain topside, so they can always pre-tab going into the battle, whereas Team Liquid just simply doesn't have that option.
And they're in full control of the control point. 63% and building. Team Liquid has to make a play soon, and they're waiting for that level 13, which should be able to come towards them on that top side. Gen.G right now thinking about making the fight, though, as Tiss is stepping up on Sportbilly. Sportbilly holding on that Iron Skin, waiting for the perfect moment to use it.
13 is there, but Arcana is already a bit low. Nuruk is trying his best to top him up as quickly as he can. Again, position already taken here. Overtime has started. Gen.G can always move back to the fountain, and they will look for it. But for now, Liquid is still holding their position. They're going for the kill. They're trying to find it here. The Riptide is already out. The Tornado in play. As they say, go for reset, but he moves out.
Gets out with that Ripper Rare at the same time. Kyo just stepping up, holding that forward front side, going in for the N2. Gets the lockdown. Big time coming in too. And there goes Arthas as the Lich King is destroyed. Sportbilly all by himself in the back line as he's trying to find a way out.
Billy trying to escape, but there's no hope. Both of the frontliners destroyed as Johanna falls. Phoenix nearly falling as the first victim in the fight, but Liquid could at least keep him alive here. Tough times for them. They have troubles getting these kills, and they have also a huge problem keeping their frontliners alive as the fight just goes on.
Gets better for Gen.G, but worse for Team Liquid. Now forts are starting to fall, and Gen.G, who had a 2-level lead already, is about to extend that lead more. Moving towards that level 16, opening the fort they damaged earlier, that mid fort, that's about to get picked off. Now the question is, will they step forward and try to get a keep wall? They can look at that top side, or even just take all 3 forts, and they're going to elect the latter of the options. Going to the bottom lane and clearing that well.
Yeah, they're so far ahead already. The 16 talent here is so crucial for them right now, since it gives them such a huge advantage heading into these fights. And Liquid somehow has to find isolation kills now. They're trying to look for experience first of all. They're giving up the bot lane, but Gen.G, they are now of course taking the map. They have that advantage. They are absolutely willing to engage into even team fights, and at the same time they still rely on their protector to break through the bottom wall. And with the next objective spawning bot side, they are already prepping to end the game with Protector number 3.
Yeah, Gen.G's mindset should be, okay, this game is already over. We just need to make sure we don't feed it, and we should be good to go. On the other side, Team Liquid, they're probably thinking about that level 16. Let's get to level 16, and then we force a fight. Team Liquid has shown time and time again, if they are behind when they move into the 3rd control point phase, and that Protector's about to come up, they take the fight before the Protector shows up, because they feel like the game is already done at that point.
This is always this weird limbo, when you want level 16 to be able to fight, but your opponent is starting to rush towards 20. So when do you take that battle? And Liquid, they realize they might have to fight at a talent disadvantage. So they're already skirting around here just to see, do we maybe collapse onto someone that is a bit far out? But Gen.G, they don't make any positional mistakes right now.
Gen.G fully confident stepping up on this turret here. Eternal comes in for a flank. Arcade on the back line. They're going straight in for their own kill. Getting the damage reduction. Sake in trouble. Riptire comes in, and suddenly we have a Tirana down.
Sake is down, but so is Tracer. Arcana just fell, and once again, the Liquid is looking for the follow-up kill, but they lose Johanna. Gen.G with 10 kills against 2. The arrow comes out. Tist is there. They're looking for more, but it's already a positive trade.
Team Liquid able to get some experience off that. They're trying to find another one though. Reset gets out and jumps to the conveyor belt. Hasselhoff's in trouble, warps away. Will he get a potion? No! Rich comes in and delivers an arrow. Rich kill you.
Eternal with a counter kill though. He takes down Junkrat, but he himself also dies. 16 against 18 here. Liquid down 4 heroes at this point. But there's still a chance that they can fight on 16 talents once again. But team fights are not really ending in their favor. 12 kills to 3 paint a very clear picture.
Things are not looking up for Team Liquid, that is for sure. But Gen.G already setting themselves up for that end game. Going for that biotic emitter, already clearing that up. Control point will be up soon, building towards that level 20. And a level and a half until they'll hit that. Team Liquid, when they spawn, have to go on the offensive. We'll see if they'll be able to get that engage they've been looking for.
I mean, they have now access to locked and loaded for Tracer. That's going to help a little bit. We have at the same time also just a couple of the talents that really help you to sustain yourself through a fight. Look at Johanna, going for the Holy Renewal here. That's definitely going to help to some extent. Embrace Death here. Both of the frontliners have suffered, but you can see how Liquid is now being aggressive. They know that at this point, this is the best possible fight they can ever get in this game. They know once that Gen.G hits 20, they're going to be in even more trouble. But as long as both teams are on 16 talents, even with a 3-level disadvantage, Liquid knows now we have to push it. Invade the opponent's camp, take their items, try and force that battle and hope that Gen.G takes it.
Gen.G's not going to take it though. Why would they? 19 and a quarter here, you just wait for that control point to pop up. Even at this stage, if Team Liquid were to get on the control point now, if it were available to them, Gen.G can soak out that level 20 by double soaking. They have the ability to, especially with that Junkrat, to do it in a safe manner.
The only reason why Gen.G would take a fight at this point is that there's something on the map that they say, okay, this is worth either fighting for, or they feel they have a good position heading into the battle. Liquid is going to try and force it, but you can already see 27 seconds and on the timer, half a level away.
Rich, Blessing kill comes out, but he dodges it with a natural agility. Hanzo skedaddles, and Rich starts to run in the bottom lane, and still time is ticking. 19.5 experience here.
And that's a big cooldown burn too. Now you don't have that engage roll anymore through the Blessed Shield. That's definitely an issue for them. But Gen.G is very likely to still wait out until they have level 20. And that could just be enough time for Johanna to rely on her heroic ability once more.
Look at Kyo, just set up for that 20, soak in the top lane. Tiss the only one here on the control point. Rich, maybe overstepping a little bit, but he's feeling pretty darn confident. And after how he's been playing so far,
Eternal moving in, trying to look for that flank again with his Arthas. They're trying to be aggressive, but Hazops is already in trouble. Has to walk away. Arcana with a bomb and the recall. Here comes the Tondo. They want the kill and they get it. Duranda is down.
Team Liquid able to find that kill. Can they find a second on Tiss? No, he gets away, but they got the tank low on health and he has to tap. And no support means that Team Liquid can poke from afar.
Tiss is unkillable. That guy just doesn't die. Every time Liquid goes in, there's that shield popping up, and all of a sudden Garage just walks away. Not a worry in the world. But Liquid now have a little bit more time. Can they grab the objective? Can they gain some momentum here? Take a few structures, maybe get 20 themselves with a protector, or is Gen.G gonna shut them down?
I am worried that it might not be enough here. They're still building up here to the 40%. Gen.G's trying to pull Team Liquid away from that point to buy more time for Sake to spawn as they shield themselves on the turret. But here's an engage, condition comes down. Team Liquid steps forward, and at the same time, Hatsup is trying to find a kill.
Garrosh once again walking away, and the entomb in the ground, the buried alive. Arthas goes down. Can Liquid get a counter kill? Tiss is low. He's once again so low, but does he die? No, he does not. Instead, Johanna falls.
Tiss is unkillable. Hasselhoff is trying to make up for it. He steps up, but he's down too. That's going to be a total of 3 as Team Liquid takes a 5v4, but Gen.G turns it around.
Arcana!
Arcana pop it off. He's showing off that Tracer.
He's going for the triple kill. Arcana taking them down. They don't have the Storm talents, but they have the plays. Arcana is saying, I've had enough. Goes in, takes down 3, kills the unkillable, takes down Garrosh, and Liquid is only a few inches away from getting level 20s themselves.
This is the moment that you look at your position in the game and you say, wait a minute, this game is winnable. 19 3/4, they have 47% on that control point. Tracer running down to grab the point now and build up towards that 20. Team Liquid could turn this around.
Arcana and Noor going up against Sake and Reset, but keep in mind, there is a Leoric on the field and it will respawn right there on the point, so Gen.G is going to take this over, at least for a little bit. Liquid looking for more experience. Arcana at the front trying to get that XP. They need the Storm talents right now. It's going to be a 5 versus 5 eventually again.
If you're Gen.G though, that's what you can look at and say, okay, we have a chance here. Those last 2 points that Team Liquid were able to pull off is because of a number advantage. They were able to find those moments and push in. Gen.G is going to wait for all 5, step up, and actually try to fight this against Team Liquid.
Liquid was 3 levels behind. They were so far behind. There was no hope. And then Arcana stepped up to the plate after we saw Arthas die. And now Liquid on the move to maybe get the first protector for their side for this game. But Gen.G is back on the map in force.
Keep your eye on Kyocha. He's the one that's going to look for that big buried alive. Look for that big silence. Slow down that back line. If he can hit Hasselhoffs in particular, he can be blown up. Gen.G already stepping forward, and here comes Tis to get on that point.
Gen.G is already there. They want this, and you know they can pull out these kills. But there's the protector already. The blessed shield comes out. Junkrat is down. Team Liquid with a salvo, with a protection, and now we have Liquid on the move through that bottom of the map.
How is Team Liquid doing this? They find another pick, and now with the protector, they can definitely kick us for it. They can definitely step up that keep wall, but can they start moving towards a game? Do they slow down and go to the next 4th control point? Team Liquid automatically taking that 4, and here comes the rest of the poke from Hanzo. He's got to make sure he clears the protector.
They're going for the keep at least. If they can't get a kill here, they might even be able to get the game. Gen.G knows it. 30 more seconds until the Junkrat is back. And that's also the best poke that Gen.G has. They lost that poke. And they have to be careful here at the bot lane. They are, but here comes once again the protector. They're going for the keep right now. Team Liquid on the move.
Going for that keep, looking for that catapult pressure, getting it down to half health, showing away. Hasso from that back left, and looking out for Kyocha as being a spooky ghost. The keep is getting lower. Oh my gosh, Rich able to get out low on health, but he's not going to be there for damage, which gives Team Liquid that chance to finally take that keep, and they'll take the first keep of the game.
Gen.G is so unbelievably good. Rich once again escaping, Test again not dying, but Liquid is looking at that core. They're thinking about it. They feel like, guys, can we take it? Can we take it? Right now they're trying to. The Entomb is still up. The shields are falling. Team Liquid looking for the play.
They're so spread out right now. Kyocha steps up. Oh no, Arthas has fallen. Arcaner jumping onto the court, but the shields are still there. Arcaner has to back away, starting to retreat. But here comes Kyocha on the side, goes in for the big slow. Kyocha's low on health. He gives up the drain home.
And they're going for it once again. The kill is nearly there.
Arcaner!
5 versus 4. Arcaner goes down. Lowering falls, but that's not going to be enough.
Sport Billy trying to retreat here. Team Liquid has to decide, can they get away here? Do you sacrifice somebody?
Nurok
down for the scroll, but Nurok will be the next to fall. Ludaflare comes out, and Rich is on the chase.
And Gen.G is on the move as well. They are trying to move through the bot lane right now. Liquid still has that keep, but here comes the flip, and Hazorps should fall here. Kept alive a bit longer through his Storm Talent. Reset already on the move towards the right side of the map. It's only Chana has the blinds here, but there are still 4 heroes down for TL.
Now Gen.G is asking the question, do we have enough damage here to go through the keep? Yes, you certainly do. You have that turret as well, but can they go straight in for a core? Kyocha is about to be back. Sport Billy floating around here. Gonna try and slow them down as much as he can.
Arthas will be back soon. He should be back for the defense. And then we have Tracer also popping up in just a bit. But Gen.G takes down the keep, starts moving in. Billy, he has to buy time, but he can't die here. Here comes the Entomb, the perfect play. They're going for it, and Johanna goes down.
Next will be a Thermal here as he's being slowed down. He's trying to do his best here to get away from all of Gen.G. There's that Army of the Dead. Arcaner is back. He goes up the Riptire. There goes the party gift as well. He gets the recall. Gen.G has yet to do damage to the core, and now they're thinking twice about it.
They're buying time. Look at Nurok. He's back to business now as well. Phoenix in another 10 seconds is going to be here too. And Gen.G shows the respect. They're moving away. They're not going for it.
This game has gotten ridiculous. A 3-level lead was in the favor of Gen.G. They were on their way to level 20, but Team Liquid has brought it back, and they have slowed them down. Both teams have lost a keep. There is catapult pressure in the bottom lane, but we are going to a 4th control point.
Possible 4 more games like this? Hell yeah, sign me up. That's a great start into our first semi-final here today. And Liquid and Gen.G are neck to neck after we had Gen.G with a dominant performance in the early game.
And one thing that we haven't talked about, that level 20 finally coming on there for Arcaner, get stuck. That gives you the ability to jump on top of Hanzo and try to delete him. If you don't have the heal come in from Toronto on time, we could have Rich deleted by Arcaner.
Also, the bottomless flask is going to be absolutely fantastic now for Nurok. Whenever they set up around an objective, when they try to siege up at the core again, that is such a huge tool in Team Liquid's arsenal. 20 kills against 9. Gen.G done so well in the early and mid game, but right now towards the end, the 2 teams are dead even.
We talked about Team Liquid's level 20s, but don't forget about play of the game also for Hanzo. Hanzo can look at that bottom lane, get the advantage when it comes to those catapults, get that bottom lane pushing in, stretch Team Liquid thin, and then come across the map with the play of the game. So Gen.G definitely in a position here to deal with what Team Liquid has.
And all eyes are again on Arcana. He's the one that made it happen with a triple kill when things looked dire. When Liquid was about to lose the Protector and then maybe even the game. game. Can Arcana do it again? Can he take down Rich? Can he take down a Saka or a Reset? That's a big question here.
Do or die for both these teams here in game number 1. The 4th control point will definitely end this match. Team Liquid stepping up, but Gen.G not reaching yet. Finally, Tiss has to back away.
Bottomless Flask, a huge tool, but we still have a Fountain for Gen.G in the mid lane, and that's a massive advantage for them. They have that pre-tap available. They also have the healing beacon that they can use here, and everybody is scared of the ult that we could see from Leoric at any point.
Lonado comes out, but misses on Tiss. Haswab's in trouble. There's the play in the game. Low on up. He gets stunned down. Does he have the Unconquerable Spirit? He does. Will he be able to warp away? Haswab trying to retreat. He is fine. The potions came in, but Arcaner, he needs a few himself.
Arcana is low and so is Haswab's. They need to move back. They need to move into the middle. They need to tap at the fountain and then re-engage here. A lot of cooldowns already burned. If they can engage now, as Leoric is still waiting for the Buried Alive to come back online, they might be able to make that aggressive play.
Perfect approach there from Gen.G. They still have time available, but Team Liquid's about to also have that Tornado back. Another big toss comes out from Garrosh as the rest of Gen.G backs up. They're watching carefully for Haswab.
Billy moving in. Arcana zoned out the entire time. Kyoja is keeping an eye on him. Once again, the lockdown here. Their kill potential against Kyoja. The salvo comes through. It's not quite enough, and Haswab has to retreat.
Kyoja still alive too, but Tom finally comes in. It's going to be on Sport Billy, but he gets the indestructible. Able to back away and get on those potions. Those bottomless potions are paying off for Team Liquid.
They definitely do, but Liquid is incredibly low right now, and they don't have any option to heal up outside of Norok anymore. They can't tap on those fountains any longer. They're looking for the kill, but look at Gen.G. They're nearly at full health, and again, the Entomb is up.
For Billy topping off with Mimosas, but
Reptile!
There goes the Dragon's Arrow. Here it is, and Johanna is down. Arcaner trying to find an angle. He's going in for Kyoja, but Kyoja getting the heals in from Tyrande.
What a beautiful combo by Gen.G. Extremely well executed there. Everything popped at the same time. Rich is again alive! No, oh my god, we have again Arcana with a play attempt, but it's not enough. They're still fighting. It's 5 versus 4. They're looking for this, and they take him down!
It's going to be a 1-for-1. Kyoja on the top side getting healed up, but Gen.G constantly poking. But look at the ticking here. 86% for Team Liquid. If anyone gives up this point, it's going over a team. Rich trying to back away. Rich low on health, but next is Socket. Death Coil comes out.
They get it!
And they get the Protector!
Team Liquid gets the Protector in game number 1 against Gen.G. 26 minutes into the game, and they are on their way to victory.
Team Liquid marching in the bottom lane. Gen.G needs to get here. They need to get damage on it, but it looks like they might not even have a chance. Gen.G had to fully stack up, but Team Liquid in game number 1, they are doing the impossible. They are taking Gen.G here in game 1 as they jump off the core. The Protector is going to destroy Caldor.
Gen.G is trying to burn it down. They're burning it down so quickly. Hands over the work. Their shields are gone. Team Liquid are going for the victory.
30
are taking
it's going down.
1 against Gen.G.
They got it.
Taking the lead in the series against the Korean powerhouse.
If you looked at all 4 teams today in the semifinals, everyone was probably counting a Team Liquid out, but they just made a statement. We are here to play, and if you ever sleep on us, we are gonna pull out a game that they were 3 levels behind Caldor.
I have no idea what to say here. This is unbelievable. The crowd going wild as Liquid starts the comeback, and then those massive team fights that we just had towards the end. The last Protector, an endless battle, and the bottomless Flask. Even after they lost the hero, after they lost Johanna, Liquid still staying around, and they find that kill.
I want some on what Team Liquid had, which happened to be Bottomless Flask, because man, those came in handy in the last fight.
They are probably the only reason they were able to hold on to that final skirmish at all and be able to get that turnaround kill onto the Garrosh, and that was absolutely the only reason they were able to cover on that second, or excuse me, the 4th control point there and the 2nd control point A.
I have to ask you guys, Gen.G taking that 45 in the bottom right corner around the turret. I understand the idea behind it. You get on top of the turret and you say, hey, come over here, you waste some time on the control point and wait your 5th member to spawn. But Gen.G, are they a little bit too confident with their ability to win team fights?
I mean, I would say I think a little bit yes, but I would actually argue in that moment that was geniuses. They lose that game if they give up that control point on bottom completely.
Well, don't you have that very fight to show us?
Yes, and that's what we're going to bring to light here is a lot of this, I think, the decision making on the side of Gen.G, and it was very genius. I would argue how long they held that around here, and the biggest thing is, again, the 20 into the 18 and the fact that they are down a Tyrande. 30 seconds until that is going to be available. So as you can see, all the members of Gen.G down here Clumping is going to try and find a way to catch anybody on Liquid to overextend whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead and run this forward. And the biggest thing to be looking at is how good they are at using the Leoric and the Garrosh, the armor of the Garrosh and the debuff of the Leoric, and then use that tight corridors to get an Entomb split. And that is where I would argue this is clever play from Gen.G. The question is, do they stick around a little bit too long to allow Liquid to hold their own? And again, they move up through the corridor. There you see the hard initiation, and they look at Kyocha. He is immediately spreading a debuff across the board. You see the throw back there from Garrosh, and then an Entomb in a matter of seconds is going to secure that Liquid is getting a 4 versus 5, but it's essentially Gen.G splitting them and saying, this is a 4 versus 4. We have got this. Once this kill is acquired, though, it is the disengage that we've got to be looking as we can move ahead in full speed. Nobody is able to make it out very safely. Rich actually taking a very interesting natural agility direction, and look at that, Kyocha diving deeper back into this fight. That was a moment where they have a 5 versus 3 to pick up control point C for free, and I would argue that is likely going to be game beyond that point. Great job, though, from Liquid, holding on, realizing the situation, and recovering what felt like an irrecoverable game.
What I always say about Gen.G is that you can beat them once in a fight. It's beating them twice in a row. Yeah. That's when you're actually starting to make moves, and it was beyond that. Gen.G were willing to do things like the Buried Alive, things that would force out things like Unconquered Spirit, even Indestructible. But the fact that Team Liquid were very understanding of, like, we've now lost this resource. We must fight. And on that final control point, being willing to get back in the fight, that's something that I don't think Gen.G would be expecting from Team Liquid here.
The fact that they never gave up is really what stood out to me. You are so far behind. You basically lost the game at that point. You're trying to get kills over and over again. You go for Tis, and that guy just doesn't die. He just stands there and takes it. And that they were able to just stick around. It was an amazing game. And I have to point out one quick fact. We had Hanzo with 170,000 damage in that game. Rich just absolutely destroying. Second best was Tracer with merely 90,000. It is incredible how much poke he got through.
You have to remember that Gen.G are the top of the region. They've been their top of the region for a long time. And though there are teams that can bring fights to them, once they get a lead, they are so used to being able to steamroll their opponents. And they have got to change that mentality versus teams that will bring a fight to them, like Team Liquid, like Miracle, because that's when things start to fall apart from them. Gen.G have a moment as we're going to hear a word from our sponsors when we come back, Game 2.
The 2018 HGC Finals are brought to you in part by Republic of Gamers, Corsair, T-Mobile, Samsung SSD, and NVIDIA.